so I've adapted this to now people, especially in this time of change that we've experienced, is how are we adapting to change? How are we thinking through those things of how am I making sure my environment knows what I need? Am I happy? Am I sad? Do I need help? Am I doing all right? And better communicate to each other, sometimes in subtle ways, sometimes in not so subtle ways, so that we can actually get the life that we want, the career we want, and fulfill those dreams.
You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, best-selling author, and Maxwell Leadership Certified Trainer, DomBrightmon. And you're going to be getting some tips and techniques to advance yourself coming up next. Today's episode is sponsored by book number 2 from DomBrightmon, Stay the Course, The Elite Performer's 7 Secret Keys to Sustainable Success. It is the field guide to help unleash the elite performer that is inside of you. Cop it today on Amazon.com or heading over to DomBrightmon.com and snag it in book, ebook, and audiobook, so that way you can take it on the go and get yourself on the go to your northbound success. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, GMP, the great, glorious, and glamorous, you know it, you love it, the Going North podcast, baby. That's right, indeed. The podcast where we get to highlight authors from all over the globe who've put pen to paper, published their books, and joined the business of immortality by doing those things. We got another super special, awesome human for you today. And this one's interesting, too, because funny enough, it's like... I think I was pitched this person a few years ago, and I'm like, yeah, let's get him on the show. And then I guess calendars just didn't match. And then a couple years later, giving a speech at a breakout session at Podfest this year. And then this pretty freaking gorgeous woman in the freaking crowd's the first one to stand up when I ask him, hey, anybody in the audience got a freaking book they want to mention? It's like, oh, yeah, the Chameleon Mindset. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. It's her. Then next thing I know, when I'm done talking, I'm like, hey, wait a second, Nikki, wait, this is, huh? It's like, oh, divine intervention. Because my goodness, they say delays aren't denials. And they say this delay is a good one, because today's guest, she's a best-selling bookcaster, because she is not only an author, but also a podcaster, life and business resiliency expert, keynote speaker, avid traveler, and the founder of the Green Chameleon Collective, so the GCC swag. So let's give it up for the natural and glamorous, who is even more glamorous in person than she is on camera, the one and only Nikki Green. How you doing today, Nikki?
What's up, Dom? Great to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you too. I was like, oh shoot. I'm like, yeah, I gotta thank this chick. I'm like, yeah, all right. It's always great we have brave souls. No, it's just like, oh, wait a second. I remember you. I'm like, oh, yay. All right, this is meant to happen.
It really was fate, because I had reached out to you in July of 21, so a minute ago, to get on the show. And again, like you said, schedules just didn't match. And then all of a sudden, I look at the program at Podfest, and you're giving a talk, and I was like, hey, what's up? Let me go say hi and see what's going on.
Heck yeah, indeed. That's right, indeed. That's right. Everything in life happens for a reason, because, hey, you probably would have never had, I guess, the extra 3 books that you have on your belt now compared to the one lonely book a few years ago.
Exactly. See, if you wait too much longer, we're gonna have a whole library to talk about.
Hey, I'm all for it. Shoot. That's right. That just means I tell everybody to buy one of each. That's right, indeed. If they got paper and they want to give, buy 10 copies of each. That's how it usually works.
There you go. There you go.
So my goodness, as with all the introductions and lives that we live, we don't get here through the squiggly line of 5 seconds. It probably takes like 3 days, sometimes freaking 30 years. So my filling in the cavities I may have missed about you when it comes to the journey that made you the Nikki Green that you are today.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's been a wild ride. I talk about some of that in that first book, I Laugh in the Face of Danger, because it was just like one crazy thing after another. Some things just, happened because I grew up with six parents. I moved a lot. I had a lot of crazy experiences. And some things, I just didn't learn my lesson. And I just kept putting myself out there to try new things. And so that's why I am the chameleon I am today. I spent 20 years in Silicon Valley working in tech and having a great time there, learning lots. But just like a lot of people, I was like, man, this can't be it. Like, there has to be more. And so just loving life as an entrepreneur now and really experiencing new fun things, writing books, having a podcast, meeting cool people at conferences. You never know where the road is going to take you.
Heck yeah, sure indeed. Because hey, sometimes you may think you're taking a fork in the road, but it's like, nah, fam, we're tired of forks. We're putting a spoon in the road.
Exactly. Just enjoy the ride.
Oh my goodness, congrats on making bestseller with this fabulous book. It's finally in hardback and paperback, and it's on audio, and you're freaking reading it. She hit all four magical combos, baby. That's right indeed. So how's it feel to get this book out, especially with it being more research based on top of the stories that you share? Because I'm pretty sure it was probably a different ball game because it took longer for this one than the first one, right? Because the first took about 4 months, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, the first one, well, the benefit of the first one was it was the middle of pandemic, so there was literally nothing else to do. There was no distractions. So it was a lot easier, but it's about half the size. So it took me about twice as long to do twice as many pages. So I guess the math sort of works out. And it built upon itself that over the time of writing the first book, building the business, the changing economy, all of the methodology behind Chameleon Mindset was always there. It's now kind of putting it into a cohesive fashion so someone else can understand it and learn it and adapt it in their life.
Ah, there you go. There you go, indeed. So, my goodness, what were the setbacks like for probably getting this book out compared to the first one? Because I'm pretty sure there's been some hurdles you had to jump over, maybe even had to do a triathlon or two to get to the publish button.
Yeah, no joke, no joke. Well, the first one, I had no idea what I was doing. I did everything myself. So I was like, and this is how I do a lot of things in life. I said, well, let me figure out how to do it. Let me figure out what's the hard parts, what's the part I like, what's the part I don't, what's the part I would much rather pay somebody else to do. And so that way, when I do it again, assuming I had a good time, then I can kind of stick in my wheelhouse and let somebody else do something that they're good at. So the writing, the creativity, the research, all of that, was easy for me. I wrote and wrote and wrote. I wrote even more than I even put in the book. We took a bunch of stuff out. What I wasn't good at is editing. It was never my strong suit in school. My teachers told me that many, many times. So paying an editor, paying a coach to really go through that book from a reader's perspective and make sure that it's understandable, it uses proper grammar and punctuation and all the commas you're supposed to have in the world. Those are the important kind of transition things. And then marketing. Marketing is just a lot of work. It's very hard to get found, especially now. The market for books is continuing to grow because so many people are self-publishing, especially a lot of nonfiction books. And so again, getting specialists who market not just anything, but market nonfiction books as a part of your business and practice was a real critical part, because I tried to do the marketing myself and it was just me dancing on TikTok and didn't sell a lot of books. It was fun though.
I mean, hey, well, when it works for one person, the good old Colleen is like, oh, I guess it works for everybody. It's like the old 99-cent bestseller thing. It's like, hey, they got the ball, they're running with it. Let's all grab the ball too. That's right, indeed. Let's use it until it breaks. And if it doesn't break yet, let's keep using it till it does.
Exactly, exactly.
That's right, indeed. So, my goodness, so in this magical book, while folks are probably thinking, man, chameleon mindset, it's like, dude, am I trying to sneak into the government and like have a black suit or whatever so I can like steal some religious relics at the Pentagon? Like, is that what I'm doing? Or is like what is the chameleon mindset for those who may have no idea what that is?
Yeah, the first misconception that always happens with chameleon mindset is there's kind of been this age-old adage about people being chameleons that don't actually know who they are, who are just kind of blending in to kind of either suck up to the boss or conform to, what's going on in a room. And that's actually not true. When I started actually studying chameleons and I read a scientific study, we found out that there's actually the opposite reason of why chameleons change colors. When they're green, when they're calm, when they're in their state of blending in, they're green. They haven't gone to those different colors. And when they are flashing colors, when they're changing, they are actually adapting to their environment. They are trying to figure out, oh, I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm hot, that other chameleon is hot, whatever the thing is that they're trying to like, and they're flashing to the environment to be like, hey, I need something different from what's going on right now. I'm not calm, I'm not zen. And so I've adapted this to now people, especially in this time of change that we've experienced, is how are we adapting to change? How are we thinking through those things of how am I making sure my environment knows what I need? Am I happy? Am I sad? Do I need help? Am I doing all right? And better communicate to each other, sometimes in subtle ways, sometimes in not so subtle ways, so that we can actually get the life that we want, the career we want, and fulfill those dreams. So that's the fun version of the chameleon mindset.
Yeah, because it's true. Because I remember listening to one of your past interviews where, funny enough, I kind of had the similar things. I guess because we're both introverts in a way where it's like folks think you're kind of hard to approach. It's like, oh God, she might stab me. But it's like, oh, if you talk to her friends, it's like, huh, really? She's like the nicest person ever. Like Nikki, like no, she doesn't have like five samurai swords hidden in her trunk somewhere. It's like you'll be fine. You'll be fine. And dating is just bringing out the jokester you where folks actually realize, oh yeah, she's actually not too bad. She's actually freaking awesome indeed. So how was that process like and how and guess with that relating to the chameleon and heck even going with your whole name and brand there.
Yeah, we got the whole thing going. Well, and it was just that, I just, and so many people get taught this, right? Conform, you should be doing this, you should take this degree, you should go get this career, you should get health insurance, like whatever all these like super adulting responsible things are. Most of them are not fun. Most of them are not
Yeah.
the right path for us. And it doesn't really match who we are and what's interesting for us and what fulfills us each day. So, it's really about trying to figure that true thing out, who you really are. And it took me a while because I didn't trust it at first. I was like, nah, I'm too weird. I'm way too weird. I got green hair right now. Like people are not gonna like that. And so, I went to work in my very professional business clothes with my very boring, originally, I don't know, brown or red hair, whichever color it was at the time. And and people are like, "Man, she's not really easy to work with. She seems really smart. Like she's got stuff together, but I don't want to work with her." And so through coaching and trying to really think through like, "Hey, I am fun. I promise like we can have a good time." And detaching myself from all those I shoulds, all that pressure of trying to be something that I'm not, that's when I really started to succeed in my career and just be happier in general in my life. So it's something I always keep encouraging people from, just I know you're going to get that advice, take it to heart, but do what you need to do so that you can have a happy career and be a chameleon too.
And then release a rap album and tell folks you're riding dirty. That's right indeed. That's
Exactly.
right.
Don't get me started on rapping.
Is that one of your favorite genres?
Yeah, we actually just went to a concert last week. Snow the Product was in town, who is a Mexican American rapper. So she raps bilingually, half in Spanish, half in English, and it's a pretty awesome show. So
Yeah, Snow the Product. Okay. Alrighty then. Sweet. Well, we won't talk about nature's cocaine, but it may be green snow that approaches. That's right, indeed. Because she's got some green snow all over the globe with her great content, indeed. So, speaking of snow being green snow, folks getting that green snow that'll help their careers grow is. Now I remember where I was going with that question. Yeah, so with all that wonderful coaching experience you got being a wonderful entrepreneur who eventually jumped into entrepreneurship, you've coached a lot of wonderful folks along the way. So, would you consider your biggest lesson learned thus far from one of your coaching clients that made you a better coach?
Yeah, I think it's like a lot of things. It's listening. A lot of people want to get in here and start, giving the lecture already before they've really understood what's going on with the clients. And it's been really a great experience when I sit down with a client for the first couple of times and they go, "Oh, I was so afraid you were going to sell me, like sell me more stuff, sell me more things." And they're on guard. It's like, this isn't a car dealership. Like, this is your life. We're trying to get you on track through whatever the transformation is that it's going to be. I don't have a set, rhythm of what we're going to go through. I need to know where you're at and where you're struggling. And a lot of times people don't even know. They come with one problem and it takes a little while to start peeling that back to really understand vulnerably what's really going on. It's probably something they don't want to talk about. Maybe they probably haven't even realized themselves. And so the more I really just genuinely listen to what's happening, the better I can help people, which has been great.
It's been great indeed. That's right, indeed. It's been great and green. That's right, indeed. Green with energy.
For sure, for sure.
That's freaking awesome, though. And it's so true about the listening aspect because it's like with a lot of coaching, a lot of folks may think, oh, yeah, get yourself a coach. They're like a football coach. They're motivating you and whatnot, and yelling in your ear and be like, get out there and go get them. That's right, D. Smack them in the face one or two times. They'll wake up and really charge for in life. It's like, nah, it's actually just listening and just holding folks accountable and keeping them close to the metaphorical flame of their manifested dreams.
There
Yeah.
you go. And I've coached, I coached triathlon in my first business. I coached volleyball when I got out of college. So I can do that other coaching. If that's what you're looking for, someone to yell at you and give you a very prescriptive plan of like how to get from A to B. But what I found is if the person themselves is not accountable, it's only going to go so far. It's only going to work when I'm there yelling at you and trying to keep you on track. I can do some accountability. That's cool. But ultimately, you are the one that has to be accountable for your future.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. Because, yeah, that's true. Because you don't get to be in Silicon Valley and be an entrepreneur, a successful one, no doubt, and then become an entrepreneur as a result without holding yourself accountable. It's like, hey, you got to have some drive within yourself. That's right, indeed. And not everybody has it. Some folks wish they would have it, but then they just see a random squirrel and they're like, oh, the tail's bushy. That's right, indeed. It's like, no. Then they wake up from a dream and realize, oh, crap, I was hugging a chameleon. Oh, buddy.
Not a fuzzy squirrel at all.
Hey, as long as a zebra doesn't end up behind him, they'll be fine.
There you go. There you go.
So, my goodness, so speaking of fun, I hear you do a whole lot of wonderful things to keep your youth going up, like triathlons and ultra marathons, indeed. So, what does running and preparing for all of those triathlons and marathons taught you about elite performance?
Patience for one thing. There is no shortcut to those things. And they were things I never thought I'd do. They were never things I really aspired to do. They were things that because I was building a community and other people were doing them, I decided to try them. So it really taught me to be super humble and really just experience the journey. And, gradually, not only did one, but I've done 7, and then I got into triathlons. But it really caught me, it helped me calm down from all the other stress in life. It was that time of just being by myself out in nature where I could solve personal problems, work problems, whatever kind of was going on. I really just had this time of peace and quiet to really just find that zen, be that chameleon, right? And learn a new skill in the process. So, you can mix and match. It's the best part of multitasking.
It's true indeed. It's true indeed. And, hey, that patience is definitely true. That's right indeed. It ain't just for the doctors, folks. That's right indeed. Patience for everybody. That's right indeed. Hey. That's right indeed. So will there be a 100 miler in your future?
Oh, I don't know. So I was born in Reno, Nevada, and when you go from Reno to California, there's this 100 mile. It's called the Western States 100. So it's a very famous, very difficult race, and I've watched people do it. People in my family have done it, and I was like, yeah, that feels like a bit
Nice.
much. So I think I'll just hang out at the aid stations and give out chicken soup or something for that one.
Yeah, I was curious. I'm like, oh, she has ultra marathons listed. So it's like, oh, I wonder if there's going to be 100 mile in the future. I wonder if she's going to join the elite club of a new level. She'll be the only chameleon in the club.
You never know. Never say never. I also said I'd never run a marathon. So.
Hey, there you go. That's right. Never say never indeed. All right. Well, okay, cool. I got to keep my eye on you. That's right indeed, in case you change your mind. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. If she changed her name to Nikki Pink, you know what happened.
There you go. There you go. Uh,
So my goodness, my goodness. So your fabulous book, The Wonderful Chameleon Mindset, Creative Ways to Embrace Change and Build Mental Resilience to Transform Your Career and Life. If that fabulous book were a food, what would it be and why?
what would it be and why? Artichokes are usually my favorite. I think it's always that, like, it's hard on the outside and it's kind of the vegetable equivalent of an onion. Like, so there's layers, you peel it and you find that great heart in the center. And it's really going to be a journey. It's not an easy task, but there you go. The reward will be worth the journey.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Eh, is there such thing out there as a vegetable that is a turtle shell like onion?
There you go. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about indeed. That's what I'm talking about indeed. So wait. So my goodness, coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is if you don't wake up tomorrow and you were 25 again, but you're still in the current year with all of your experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Buy more stock. Yeah. Even though, I was coming off of doing financial planning at that age, I still did not save as much as I could have. I still wasn't as focused on the long term as I could have. And I think that's really always my advice for young people is just keep that eye on the prize, the big prize, the not working forever, the not having to earn every dollar every second of every day. It's the how else can we do this, have passive income, have multiple streams of income, and be able to diversify what's going on so that you can enjoy, like me, being semi-retired in your 40s and hopefully fully retired not long after that.
and I pegged you for late 30s. Who would have thought?
Well, thank you. It's the green hair.
Oh, that smile too. So my goodness, so for those who need to keep up with the green and have all the green energy and be not green with envy, what's the best way for folks to keep up with you, Nikki?
Oh, well, head over to my personal site at the NikkiGreen360.com. There you can follow me on social media, watch me dance on TikTok, listen to my podcast, Stand Up and Stand Out, and of course, buy any one of my wonderful books, including Chameleon Mindset.
Woohoo! Well, there you have it, folks. That's right indeed. And then you may be on the lookout for that mixtape in the future. That's right indeed. Nikki Green does rap. That's right indeed. She'll pull out all the Christmas gifts, y'all. That's right indeed. She's gonna bust some rhymes. She's gonna pull out a bunch of soap bars and be like, "Yeah, I got 16 bars for you, suckers." That's right indeed. That's right indeed. She might even collaborate with Snow and be like, "Yeah, we green Snow, baby." That's right indeed. That's right indeed. That's right indeed. All these
There you
chameleons
go.
coming to your city. That's right. And you won't see us at all. And if you do see us, it's too late because we got used to the environment. We acclimated.
Wiggy wiggy. Yeah. We just need the like turntable.
Oh man. Well, before the table turns into a rabbit hole, any parting words before we close up shop, Nikki?
Oh, folks, you can't believe what you can accomplish. It's really amazing, and people get so overwhelmed by the goal, but just take that first step. Every step makes progress, and it doesn't matter how small. So tomorrow, make a new decision to head towards the goals you dream of.
Thanks a bunch for investing your time by listening to this wonderful podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you really did, do me a solid and leave a review or share this episode with at least 3 people that you think would get some value out of today's content. Advance others to advance yourself.